I never thought being a bridesmaid would turn into one of the most humiliating days of my life. My best friend told me I couldn't bring my boyfriend to her wedding because our relationship wasn't serious enough. I tried to brush it off, until I realized everyone else got to bring a date, even people who'd been together for a few weeks. That's when things started going downhill. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more crazy Reddit stories like this. I was asked to be a member of the wedding party. Despite this, I was the only person, not only in the wedding party, but also at the ceremony, who wasn't allowed to have a +1. This was an outdoor wedding with unlimited seating, and these people don't give a shit about COVID, so it wasn't about that. I was told it was because my relationship wasn't serious enough despite us being together for a year. That only engaged or married couples were invited, and that they didn't want some random guy in their wedding pictures who I might not even be with later in the future. They don't want to have to look at some random guy in their pictures, even though he wouldn't have been in any of the posed pictures at all. Maybe just in the background of crowd shots. There have been no conflicts between them and my boyfriend, and he's a nice and mild-mannered guy who gets along with everyone, so I don't think it was about him personally. I get to the ceremony and find out that literally everyone else has a +1, not just married couples, but there are couples there who have been dating for less time than me. This is when I started feeling surly. I smiled and played my part during the ceremony, but inside I was very surly and angry. We then got to the reception, which had way more people than the ceremony. This is where all the more distant friends were invited. And everyone there had a +1. I was literally placed at a table as the one single person, and everyone else at the table was a couple. Some at the table were other members of the wedding party, but others were random distant acquaintances. People started asking me where my boyfriend was, and I said I was told he wasn't invited. They asked why, and I said I had no idea why. This is when I started letting my surliness show and started acting rude and mean, because I was humiliated. And then, I was brought into conversation with the couple's male friend, Dean. I was previously told that Dean has a crush on me, and I made it clear I wouldn't be interested even if I was single. Even after that, he kept trying to message me and I ignored him. But now the people who brought me into conversation with Dean were like standing around staring at us and giggling behind their hands. Like they thought they were Cupid matchmakers. Dean was absolutely a participant in this. I was meaner to Dean than I've ever been to anyone in my entire life. I was as fully rude as I've ever wanted to be when being the target of someone's romantic interest unwantedly. It's true I don't really know if I was being set up, but I was already furious before that happened. Everyone was silent and awkward. I went back and finished my meal, and as soon as I was done, picked up my purse and left and went straight to my boyfriend's house, skipping most of the reception, cake cutting, speeches, and everything. I'm now being told by the couple that they are hurt and confused why I left so early. I haven't replied. Texting the bride and groom. All right, after making this post, I emailed them back, and I started small just to see what they would say. All I said to start it off was, I was uncomfortable because I was the only one without a +1 after being told nobody but engaged or married couples would have them. Multiple people at the reception started repeatedly asking me where boyfriend was, and I was getting more and more humiliated. Especially since I was seated with colleague and their Tinder boyfriends. It was humiliating to be the only one singled out, and I was extremely upset. Here's the reply I quickly got. We just meant no +1s for the ceremony. It was perfectly fine for you to bring boyfriend to the reception, and that's what we assumed you were going to do. That's what we always planned for. The reception being much larger and looser. We never heard from you about bringing boyfriend to the reception, so we didn't plan for it, but it always would have been fine. This reply is some bullshit that was never ever said to me at all or presented as an option. I would have actually been fine with that as a compromise. Jerkface, I mean, Dean. And being rude. I didn't want to describe the conversation because people would probably think really badly of me if they saw how horrible I really acted. But fuck it. This was toward the end of the meal, and some people are still eating and some people are just partying, standing and talking, circulating around the room. I was eating and someone comes over to me, goes, "Hey, could you come over here for a second? Someone has a question for you." Already I was suspicious because that was a scenario straight out of the second grade lunchroom, but fine, whatever may be, it has to do with bridal party stuff. So I come over, and who is standing there but Dean? looking really smug, and a few other people are standing there who are already giggling, so I already start feeling angry. Because again, this is reminding me of the second-grade lunchroom scenario, and I'm already imagining how it's going to go. He actually started out with, "Hey, beautiful," and I went, "What do you want?" in an angry tone. I think he sensed that this wasn't going to go like what he had in his mind, but he continued what he obviously planned out. So he said, "I just wanted to ask you something," and I said, "What?" He went, "There is something wrong with my phone, can you help me fix it?" I said, "I don't know anything about phones, sorry I can't help you," and turned around to go back. And he went, No, what's wrong with my phone is that it doesn't have your number in it." And I just went off. Because I already made it clear I was not into whatever this was, and I already turned to leave. But he interrupted me leaving and kept going despite it all. I was furious because I was already angry, plus he wasn't paying attention to how I felt or caring about it. So I felt like he desired what I was going to give to him. I raised my voice and said, "Dean, fuck off and leave me alone. No, you can't have my fucking number. No, I don't want to go out with you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not attracted to you. I don't want anything to do with you. You are not interesting or attractive to me at all. I want you to leave me the fuck alone." He was looking down during all of this and not at me, and I said, "I want you to look at me and agree you're going to leave me alone from now on, yes or no?" And he said yes, and I said, "Look at me and say yes." So he did. So I turned around and left him alone after that. I know I humiliated him, and I did it on purpose. I hate to admit that, but it's true. Even though I raised my voice, it was loud in the room, so only the people standing nearby and one unrelated table nearby heard it.